One day Jesus is approached by a teacher of the law, and he says to Jesus, what's the most important commandment? Out of all the commandments, what's the most important one to God? And Jesus responds back, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hinge on these two commands. In other words, Jesus says, if you will learn to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and you'll love your neighbor as yourself, any and every other commandment that God has for you, you will naturally and effortlessly fulfill. If you come to him and take his yoke upon you and allow him to form a gentle and humble in heart within you, and you become integrated in heart, mind, soul, and strength, present where you are, then you will naturally and effortlessly do any and every other thing God asks you to do. And if that's the greatest commandment, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, love your neighbor as yourself, that should probably be something we understand, don't you think? You can quote it, but do you understand it? Have you ever actually meditated on what he means by that? What does that mean? If I was a stranger and I walked up to you and I said, hey, you're wearing a really cool Hope Carrier shirt, I want to ask you, what does it mean to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength? How are you going to answer that? Well, the first question you have to ask is, what is love? Love is not an emotion or a feeling. Love is seeking the good of others. Love is literally, the Bible translates, it's goodwill. It's my will set for your good. My will, my choice, my actions, my words, my domain, my kingdom, the place that God has entrusted to me, I am using any and every one of those things to seek your good. Couples who love each other, it's not emotions and feelings, it's they seek the good of the other person with their will, with their domain. So to love God is to seek God's good through our will. And we're supposed to do it with our heart, mind, soul, and strength. Well, what's your heart? Your heart is your center. It's your spirit. It's your will. It's the center part of who you are. What's your mind? Your mind is your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, the way that you perceive and understand reality. Well, what's your body? Your body is the place that gives your heart and your soul expression. If you didn't have a body, we wouldn't be able to engage with you. You'd be a floating spirit. So your body is this domain that God has given to you in the here and the now. And then what's your soul? Your soul is the deepest part of you that encompasses everything. So when it says love God with all your heart, what does that mean? It means to seek God's good with my heart, with my center, with my will, with my spirit. Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there be any offensive way in me and lead me in the way of understanding. In other words, God, is there any part of my will that is not looking for your good? How about mind? What does it look like to love God with your mind? It means to think thoughts about God. It means to dwell on God, to meditate on God, to make sure my thoughts glorify God, to make sure my thoughts perceive reality in a way that leads my emotions and my feelings to seek the goodness of God. Take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. That seeks God's good. Whatever is lovely and true and noble and worthy and admirable and praiseworthy, think on such things. That is the good of God. Love God with my body. What does it mean? It means to use my body, my words, my actions, every member of my body for the good of others and the glory of God. This is your true and spiritual act of worship. And then love God with your soul. What does that mean? It means to seek God's good from the deepest part of you, your very breath of life. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Seek the good of God. My soul, the deepest part within me, the very breath of my life. Are you loving God, seeking his good with your heart, mind, soul, and strength? If not, that's okay. Come to Jesus. Take his yoke upon you. Learn from him. Be real honest. God, I kind of love you with emotions and feelings when you hold my hand just right. I want to learn to love you with my heart, mind, soul, and strength, seeking your good. Isn't that fascinating? We all want God to seek our good. When was the last time you thought, I'm in a relationship here and I need to seek the good of the other person in the relationship? I need to use my will for the good of the one I love. Is my heart, mind, soul, and strength aligned with that?